Good morning, friends, and welcome back to the 𝐚𝐭 Homestead. I'm 𝐚𝐭, and today we have a busy day on the homestead, both outside and inside. We're going to be starting out at our chicken coop. They are currently inside their coop right now because I have dogs out, and I just don't want to risk losing any more chickens. We got to go fill up their feeder, their waterer, get their eggs, and then my bees are out and about this morning. They've already landed on me and have been so happy, so we're going to go check on them, see how they're doing, and then we're going to head inside to do some other projects. So let's get started. Let's head over to the coop. We are now inside the chicken coop, and like I mentioned, the chickens are in here as well because I have dogs running around. We just need to get them water, food, and I already see their pile of eggs in the corner. They don't lie in their nesting boxes. Don't ask me why. So looks like we have 7 or so eggs, which is cool. So let's get them some food so they can be happy, water so they can be refreshed, and collect the eggs so then I can have some food. So in the back by the roost, I have a hanging feeder for my chickens that I made out of a Lowe's bucket and like little PVC cup things. I will show you guys up close so you can see what I'm talking about. Absolutely love it. It's so nice. It reduces waste on the feed. If you have an open feeder, chickens like to scratch everything out, which they were doing. So I made this and hung it off the floor. So then it is easier for them to access to. We're just going to fill it up. Here is the feeder, hangs on a rope that I have tied to the ceiling and right there. And it was these little plastic PVC chicken feeders that I got at the farm store, Lowe's bucket, and I just drilled the holes into the bucket. Whenever I need to feed them, I just take off the lid, feed them. This is the watering situation. I have received comments on using this as a waterer. I use this black plastic feed tub as a waterer for a few reasons. One, my winters are super cold and I tried other alternatives. This is by far the easiest because every morning it would be iced over and then I would just come kick it out and then turn this on and fill it back up. Actually, I had to use a different one. This one freezes in the winter. I'm getting this replaced. But you can't use the steel waters in the winter unless you want to use a warmer. I am not going to plug anything into my chicken coop because I experienced a fire last year and I am just so plug-in adverse. Okay, so this is super easy, and surprisingly it doesn't get as dirty as you saw it. The only reason it was so dirty today is because my chickens haven't been out. On a nice day like this, they're out all day, and so it doesn't get that dirty, so they're good. Now that this is filled up, we're just going to take it back in, grab the eggs on the way out. And like I mentioned, this may not be the most efficient. This cracked over winter, so I have to replace this. These are so handy, and I love having one right by my coop because I can just come out here, water my chickens, go back in. During the winter, I had to haul it, the water, just probably about 30 yards that way. Not too bad. Gave me something to do and some exercise, but I would rather have this right by the chicken coop, and that's why I'm going to replace it for next winter. Special note, being in here, I love my rooster. He is the coolest rooster ever. He protects his ladies, but he lets me do my thing. Behind me here, I have the nesting boxes. Anytime I filled them up with straw, they just kicked all the straw out like high maintenance chickens. I'm thinking about getting little nesting pads, like full-on just pads that I've seen other homesteaders use, and trying those out because they can't kick out the pads as easily as the straw. I'll link those down below so you guys can see what I'm going to try, and I'll let you know how it goes. But from what I've read, those nesting pads work really great. For collecting eggs, a cool little gadget that actually my dad got me, which I love, is this little egg carrier. So you don't need to be putting eggs into your pockets or your shirt like I have many times. You just open this up, put the eggs in, and carry it back to your house. I will also put this down below for you guys. Like, I love my little egg carrier. Hey, get back. Get down. Come on, get down. I'm trying to get... Drama. So these are eggs that I'm just gonna dump into their run, and they eat them. And then here are the eggs to collect. That one will go to one of the dogs because it's dirty. Beautiful. What the? Hey, what are you doing? He gets the dirty egg for being a good boy. And now I'm just gonna drop the eggshells over into their run for them to eat whenever they come out. In the midst of trying to drop them over, I ended up dropping the eggs onto me. So let's see how many broken eggs we got. Ugh. All right, one broken egg. That one's good. These will go into the run. That one's good. So I think we only lost one egg. Well, I'll leave that out for a dog to find. Now that the eggs are collected, we're gonna head over to our bees, see how they're doing. It's a nice day here, so I'm expecting to see some activity, hoping to see maybe they're coming in with pollen. So I'm not sure. I don't have any dandelions in bloom here yet, so we'll see what they have going on. And she found the egg. Good girl. In the midst of dropping the eggs, picking them up, my puppy coming, I put the other two dogs in their kennels, and now I'm going to let the chickens out. I'm about to let my chickens out. I have an automatic chicken door, which I absolutely love. It's an omelet chicken door. Makes my life so easy. I've had it through all winter. It is battery operated, and when people hear that, they're like, oh no, you can't keep it through winter. I just kept it through the coldest winter, and the battery life, I believe, is at 60%. So 4 months of the coldest winter is freezing, snow, everything, rain. This thing still works perfect. So I have it on manual, open and close right now. So I will show you just how it works on the keypad, and we'll open it up for the chickens. So we have this little opener right here. See, battery percent. So we go down to, it's on manual right now. We're gonna put it back to light. So it'll open at 27% light, but I'm just gonna manually open it right now. And the chickens will come piling out. Now that we have the chickens out, we're gonna go check on our bees. I was gonna do that, but then I ended up putting the dogs away. So now the chickens can go. I've been meaning to clip their wings so they don't fly out of the run. My problem is if they fly out of the run and a dog gets them, so I kind of have to mitigate right now. Welcome to one of my favorite parts of the homestead, my beehives. Behind me, I have my one hive that survived the winter, which I am so ecstatic about. I started with 2 hives and I lost one, sadly. It was the weaker hive of the 2, but as you can see, the bees are so happy. They are buzzing around, the sun is shining. I think they are anxiously awaiting for dandelion season. I have a huge field of dandelions, which is one of the first foods for bees in the spring. So if you have dandelions, don't kill them. Don't spray them with pesticides. The bees need them. I just wanted to see my bees and see if they were carrying in any pollen yet. I don't see any pollen, but they are alive and they are doing circle 8s outside of the hive, which signals, hey, I found some food, come with me. But I also am supplementing their food right now with sugar patties. I'm not gonna open their hive right now though to show you, because every time you open their hive, they lose heat, moisture issues. So, but they seem to be happy. All of this right here, these are dead bees. So they clean out bees when they die and drop them on the ground. I've tried to feed the dead bees to my chickens. They don't seem to be too interested, especially with spring here and they're out foraging. But now I've done everything that I need to outside, so we're gonna head inside and get to the projects inside. We are back inside and I got everything ready to make 1 hour soft dinner rolls for dinner tonight. I'm gonna be having some of the canned beef stew that I made up, and because this is a day of thing, I'm making my 1 hour dinner rolls. Usually I like to make my sourdough dinner rolls, but those require some time in advance. So let's get making these rolls. They are so good and delicious, and what I love about them, they are so easy to make. So in here I have 1 cup of water, half cup of milk, 2 tablespoons of butter, and I'm going to pour it in here. This mixture is warm, not too hot to kill the yeast, but not too cold that it won't activate the yeast. Now I'm just going to add in about 2 tablespoons of honey to the top of it. You can measure that out if you want, but I kind of just go for it with honey. Next, I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of yeast. And then I am going to let it sit until the yeast is foamy, so about 5-10 minutes, and I will show you what that looks like. It has been about 10 minutes, and you can see that is kind of creamy. It's bubbly, which means the yeast is active. So now I'm going to show you the next step. I have my kneading hook here on my KitchenAid. In here I have 3.5 cups of all-purpose flour and 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm just going to slowly start mixing and pouring in the flour and then let it knead for about 5 minutes. I have about half left and I'm just going to dump it in. And now we let it knead for about 4 to 5 minutes until it comes together in a smooth ball. Okay, so this has kneaded for the past 4 to 5 minutes. You can see it has formed around my little knead attachment and it's not sticking to my hands. Like, it will come into a ball really quickly, so that is what I am going to do. Just put it into a ball, put it in this bowl, and cover it with a damp towel for 15 minutes, and then I will show you what we do next. This is what you want your dough to look like. It can be easy to play with. It's not sticking to your hands. It's easy to fold and move with. If it was not coming together, you would want to add a little more water, or if it was too wet and really sticking to my hands, you would want to add flour. But this is perfect, and I'm just going to cover it, and then we will divide it into little balls. It has been 15 minutes, and this rose a little bit. Now we're just going to divide it into 15 rolls. I have a greased baking dish right here, and then we will let it rise one more time and then throw it in the oven. So that's why it's 15 minutes, or not 15 minute, 1 hour dinner roll, because 15 minutes put together, 15-minute rise, another 15-minute rise, and then they bake for about 15 to 20 minutes. I like having rolls with dinner. I feel like they just complement pretty much every dinner really well. So this is the easiest recipe to have some on hand. Yeast is a great thing to have in your food storage. If you don't have a sourdough starter, essentially a sourdough starter is like your own yeast that you can keep in the fridge or on your counter. I'm just gonna finish rolling these up. I like to shape them into a little roll, just tucking them under, like tucking the dough under. And then we'll let them rise and I'll show you what that looks like. I have them all rolled out. We're just gonna let these rise for another 15 minutes and then put them in the oven. It's been 15 minutes and look at, they've risen a bit. Now they're gonna go into the oven. The oven has been preheating at 400. Oh man, these smell good. I know it's just dough, but they're gonna be even better. We put them in for 15 to 20 minutes until they're brown on the tops, and then I'll show you. I like to just rub butter on the tops of them when they're done. So let's put these in, and I cannot wait to show you what they look like. While the rolls are baking, I'm just gonna clean the oven top. I am go in my kitchen, so things get dirty, and I always tell myself, if my kitchen wasn't dirty, that would mean I wasn't using it, so it's a good thing that I have to clean it up all the time. So I am going to utilize this time to just wipe this up. This morning I made a breakfast hash, so I still have to clean my cast iron. And this is just vinegar distilled with orange peels, and it smells really good. Usually I would use a rag for this, but all of my rags are currently dirty because I just had a huge preservation day that I did with canning and cooking, and that used up all my rags. I got to get through my laundry, and so I'm just prepping for this next season. I feel like winter has been such a rest, and now things are starting to speed up, and that includes even doing things in my kitchen. I also do like to clean my oven top when the oven is on, because this warms up, and I feel like it cleans better than when it's cold. Okay, I have it pretty much cleaned up. Now I'm just gonna wait for the rolls. Oh man, it's only been just a few minutes that they've been in there, and it still smells so good. I love baking bread for the reason that makes your kitchen smell divine. All right, y'all, the oven timer just went off. Let's see. They look perfect. I'm gonna pull these out right now because you can see how the tops are brown. That is what we want. Next step, I just take a stick of butter and just rub it over the tops of the rolls. You can put butter over the rolls before you cook them. I prefer to after, so it's just really preference. I am so happy with how these turned out. They are going to be delicious tonight for dinner. So I just have to say thank you so much for hanging out with me today, coming around the homestead and baking these amazing 1-hour dinner rolls. Again, I will have the recipe in the description. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I will. Oh man, these look amazing. They smell amazing, so I'm so excited. Thank you. You guys are amazing, and I genuinely appreciate your time for coming around the homestead with me. I'll see you guys next time. Don't do anything a couple won't do. Bye, you guys.